Hi, welcome. I'm Julie Geigel, International Psychic Medium, and you are watching Julie Geigel TV. And this is the Online Spiritual Book Club. We're so excited for our new book, The Gifts of Imperfection, Letting Go of Who You Think You Should Be and Embracing Who You Are. Today we're talking about Introduction to Wholehearted Living and Chapter 1, Courage, Compassion, and Connection, The Gifts of Imperfection. And so, wholehearted living, this whole book is really wraps around wholehearted living. And she defines wholehearted living on page 7, or page 1, excuse me. And Brene says that wholehearted living is about engaging in our lives from a place of worthiness. It means cultivating the courage, compassion, and connection to wake up in the morning and think, no matter what gets done and how much is left undone, I am enough. It's going to bed at night thinking, yes, I am imperfect and vulnerable and sometimes afraid, but that doesn't change the truth that I'm also brave and worthy of love and belonging. So powerful, so powerful. This truly is an amazing book, and if you have an opportunity to join us, I highly encourage you, because even this first segment has just been unbelievable. And Brene has actually been featured on Oprah several times, and she's doing a special with this book, a 6-week special. So if you didn't get an opportunity to jump on that, this is another opportunity for you coming around to help you make this connection. And so, as she moves into the book, she explains that the 3 gifts of imperfection are courage, compassion, and connection. And so these 3 things are actually our gifts of helping us to move through the imperfections of being human. Because as a human being, we are imperfect, and there's no way around that, as much as we might hate that. So on page 6, she tells us that only when we are brave enough to explore the darkness will we discover the infinite power of our light. And, really that is truly the journey of the soul, is embracing our darkness. Instead of ignoring it or denying it or being ashamed or humiliated by it. And I always tell people, it's divine. Don't worry about what you said or what you did. It's divine. It's out of your hands, and there are no accidents. All right, well, let's move over to chapter 1, Courage, Compassion, and Connection, the Gifts of Imperfection. And so on page 7, jump over to page 7. She says that practicing courage, compassion, and connection in our daily lives is how we cultivate worthiness. And it is all about being worthy, feeling like we're good enough, and feeling like we matter. And so she said there's 2 really important things in this whole journey. One is to recognize shame when it's happening, to become aware of how you're feeling when you're feeling shame. And those physical symptoms, typically dry mouth, racing heart, hot face, that mental madness running over and over that in your mind. And then she said the most important thing when you're feeling shame and humiliation are to reach out and tell your story. But the key is to reach out to someone who's deserved the right to hear it, because not everyone will be able to support you on this journey of vulnerability. Shame cannot survive being shared. It grows when it's buried. Very important to remember that. 3 keys to wholehearted living: courage, compassion, and connection. Courage to ask for what you need and to stand up for others. Compassion for ourselves and others, with loving boundaries and following through with consequences. And then connection, when 2 people feel seen, heard, and valued without judgment. So important. And so she ends our chapter 1 with the wholehearted journey is not the path of least resistance. It's a path of consciousness and choice. And to be honest, it's a little counterculture. The willingness to tell our stories, feel the pain of others, and stay genuinely connected in this disconnected world is not something we can do half-heartedly. Well, that was my summary of the introduction in Chapter 1. It's not too late to join us for our live online discussion every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. We gather together on Google Hangouts to go a little bit deeper with a whole hour. It's a great opportunity for you to ask questions and get real help to apply these principles in your life. It's actually psychic life coaching for as little as $8 a month. So I would love to hear from you. Do you have a shame story that needs to be told? We'd love to support you on your journey of embracing who you really are. So keep the conversation going and help us build community by jumping over to www.juliegeigel.com and posting your comment in our private blog comment section, and or below if you're watching this on our website. One more reason to join in this conversation is you automatically get entered into our contest for a free psychic reading every time you comment on one of our posts. And it is just a wonderful way to connect with other people and support each other, because that's really what it's all about, is letting you know that we're not in it alone. Thank you so much for watching here today. And if you've not signed up for the Online Spiritual Book Club, you can go over to bookclub.heavensenthealing.us and join us for as little as $8 a month with an annual membership. So remember, if you keep on doing what you've always done, you'll keep on being who you've always been. Change doesn't happen unless you make a change. Thank you so much for sharing this with your friends and liking us on Facebook and following us on Twitter.